All right, Coach Mill, amazing weekend for UNC. Ethan Strand won the 3K tonight. Michaela won the 800. How are you feeling about everything?
Yeah, no, really fired up. I mean, especially with obviously that DMR last night for our guys. They ran great, Virginia ran great, but it's disappointing. Ethan really wanted to win, and to see him bounce back in 22 hours from how devastated he was last night and just go back to being himself, right? Go back to being the guy who loves to compete, is hunting people down. That's awesome. It takes a lot of heart to recover that quick and turn back around. It's pretty special. And then Michaela, I mean, when she got tripped up coming through the starting line there, I thought for sure she was going down. Her hand was almost on the ground. And I thought, okay, you get that jolt of adrenaline, that's going to carry you for the next 30 seconds. Can you do it all the way through? And like, amazing. So yeah, it's really exciting. And watch Parker battle back to these 6. I mean, he's barely trained the last 6 weeks, and just a lot of heart and a lot of team fight. It's really exciting.
So all 3 of those athletes, what did you tell them to prepare them for this meet?
I think the big thing we talk about is don't change what we do, right? Like even when they ran these fast times this year, we never went into it talking about running times. We talked about let's get excited to compete, see what we can go do, and we building up the entire time. So it's like, hey, let's go see what we can do. Nothing changes. And the other part is like, especially for our men, they were 100% in a team score mindset, you know, versus, oh, I've got to hit a home run. It's like, no, how many points can we score? And it's amazing when you're thinking that way. Like, you lose, you're excited. And so that's all it was. Hey, do what we've been doing all year long. Get excited to go compete and keep coming the second half.
For Michaela, was your race plan with her to lead from the gun, or what was your plan with her?
Yeah, well, it's a big phrase we use in our program a lot. Is we say, you know, ride the tiger by the neck, not by the tail, right? If you ride it by the tail, you're getting whipped around. And if you look at her ACC final, she rode the tiger maybe by the middle, right? And she's getting whipped down. You can't get by anybody. And yesterday in that prelim, she broke in the front. That was the first time she's done that. And all of a sudden it was this revelation of like, man, it's clean track up here. Like I can do this up here. And then when she got past in the prelim, she's like, this is great. I can latch right on. So our plan was, hey, be decisive the first 150 meters. You're either going to break in the front or you're going to break in second and be like sitting right on the shoulder of the leader and then just wait it out and have one last good gear at the end. And so, yes, she was good in, you know, with either way that was going to play out, and she was just really decisive. And, you know, even with the trip up, she still controlled her destiny. It's awesome.
And looking at Michaela's progression over the past year, I believe she didn't make the indoor championships last spring and then comes here and wins it all. What do you attribute that progression to?
Yeah, well, I mean, she's never made the indoor meet before. Last year, she made the outdoor meet, but didn't make the final. She got tripped up right at the line in the prelim. She made the semifinal at the Olympic trials. I think it's just steady progression. You know, she's always believed she can be at this level. And if you look at just her, it's been methodical. And if you look even what she did this winter, you know, probably very quietly, like her body of work was incredible. Like she ran a great mile on our slow flat track. She's ran 52.7 in the open 400, split 51 on our 4x4. Like she's got both sides of it really well. And so, but it's just been a methodical, steady progression, but she's always believed she can get to this level.
And for Ethan, what did you tell him last night or this morning to, you know, bounce back from yesterday and come back and win the 3K tonight?
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing I just told him last night was that I love him and I want him to go be himself and just let's go excited to go compete and bounce back. And hey, you don't have to do anything other than be you, and you're at your best when you're like a kid playing a game, hunting people. That's when he's at his best. And so that's all he needed to hear. I don't think he needed anything more than that. He knew exactly what we were going to try to do today. And you know, we I think we even got off track a little bit last night. You know, if you're with us day to day, we never talk about breaking records. We never even talk about winning. We talk about, hey, what are we doing? Like, what are we working on? What are we doing? And what's our long-term plan? And I think all of us, myself included, and I said that to the guys last night. I said, guys, I think we all made the same mistake. We all laid in bed last night thinking about winning. Instead of like, hey, what are we going to go do? How are we going to execute? What's our plan? And let the results take care of themselves. And we never do that. Like, we never talk about winning or breaking records. We talk about what we're going to go do. And I think we all maybe didn't say it enough last night, but we were thinking that. And that's why he made that move that's so uncharacteristic of him to make that move. So today was just, hey, let's go back to doing what we do. Practice how we're going to execute this thing. Go work on that and try to take care of himself.
As for Parker, so he was, you know, kind of coming back and getting back into form. How did you get him ready for this meet after so many setbacks?
Yeah, it really speaks to who he is. And if you've been in our house the last 10 weeks, the last 6 months with him, from a hiccup in the fall to how well he ran to get 7th, and then 2 weeks later run 7:30. And then when I say this guy got crushed by the neurovirus at the end of January, it's an understatement. Like down for days. And so we just slow played coming him back. And to your question, how did we get him ready for this meet? We didn't. We said, hey, listen, man, One thing we're not going to do is mess up trying to like fast track and rush your preparation for this. We're training for July, and we'll do this along the way. And he's just so damn competitive and so tough, and he loves to race. That he's really, really good. And everything we've done, every decision we've made the last 8 weeks has been, hey, how do we get you ready for June and July? That's it. And we'll do this along the way. And he just loves being part of it. I think almost anybody else would have not even wanted to line up today and said, hey, I'm not at my A+ game. I'm probably not even close. And he was like, no way, man. We have 3 guys in the 3K. What is better than that? Let's go.
So you mentioned that you see Parker and Ethan as the next 2 great American distance runners. Can you chat a little bit more about that?
Yeah. I mean, I was with Grant Fisher, Sean McGordy, Elise Grant. I do think I've had an up-close view to what that looks like at this age, and just the things that drive them are really special. Like, I think in an era right now where so many people are caught up in just chasing times, or they're caught up in their brand, or they don't care about it. And they love to compete, and they love thinking about, hey, how do we get better? How do we become some of the best in the world? Like, that's how they look at it. And then, okay, if we want to get there, what's the next logical step? They're just really, really special. Truthfully, I'm having so much fun with them, because they're just love to do what they're doing. So I think it's that part. What drives them is really special and unique in a landscape where I don't think there's a lot of people like that right now. And they have each other. They have each other in that way, and they keep each other in check that way, and drive each other. And so I think it's that. And then truthfully, I do know enough about what we do, and like what we do with Grant and Sean and Elise, and it's like we leave a lot of fruit on the tree still on purpose, right? That's on purpose, and I take that responsibility very personally. It's like these guys can have 10-year pro careers, and that's my number one objective, is to tee them up to do that. And we're going to do some great things in college, but we're going to keep going along the way. So, yeah, I think they have a long, long runway in front of them. That's going to be really exciting.
So you mentioned that the guys have a ton of fun at practice. What do you do to foster a fun and just supportive team environment for the team, and what do you value for that?
Yeah, I think you get the right guys on the bus, and that's been our thing since, we went to North Carolina in 2019. Parker, Ethan, and Colton, the guys that are in that 3K, all 3 of them, they were our second recruiting class, our first recruiting class. Patrick Anderson, they're our guys. They're our guys. And we just have had an awesome group of guys that we love being with every day. It's a really, really, it's a long story, but it's a really cool chain within our program from, when we first got here and we had the guys on the team, that a couple of them that really bought into what we wanted to do. We had our first 2 recruiting classes, and we had really impactful graduate transfers, particularly my Stanford guys, Alex Osberg and Thomas Ratcliffe, who mentored these guys. And so it's just this really cool linkage we have over the last 6 years now, from Alex Osberg and Thomas Ratcliffe to then Jack Aho to Jesse Hunt to John Tanner, and just this mentorship they've had, and it's really special. You have the right guys, and so when you have the right guys, you just show up and make it about having fun and doing what we do. So yeah, I think it's about we've got the right people, and we've always made it about getting the right people. So it's that, and yeah, we dream big, right? We don't, I think, for me, coming even back to the East Coast, right? Like, I'm an East Coast guy, went to the West Coast, I came back. Our thing on this was like, we're not gonna limit ourselves. We're not gonna say, hey, we just wanna beat other ACC teams. Don't get me wrong, we want to do that too, and what's really cool is ACC is the best conference in America now, but it was like, hey, we want to put people on Olympic teams. Hey, we want to close the gap on the Mountain teams and the West teams, and that sounded audacious when we started, and we're certainly not there yet as a full, but man, we're getting close. And so when you have guys that dream big and think big, it's energizing, exciting, and yeah, we got a lot of work to do, but man, we're chipping away and climbing the mountain a lot.
So looking ahead to outdoor season, how do you hope to build off the team's performances this weekend?
Yeah, I think step one is they go dark for a while, right? We talk about that a lot, is like the outdoor season is really long on the back end, right? And this meet's fun, but man, I love the outdoor meet. And I love the outdoor progression because it's regional qualifying. It's about competing, right? This one, to get in the top 16, I don't care what event it is. You get in the top 16, you got to go out and put out a great performance. Outdoors, you got to be ready to compete and race. The rounds at regionals, the rounds at NCAAs, the rounds at the USAs, and I think that's what we do way, way better. So, we're going to go for a while. These guys are going to go back and first have a nice break, then they're going to go train for a while. And the beauty of it is we're not going to chase any times, right? These guys can run their regional mark on any given day, and that's all they got to do. I don't care if you're going number 48, right? Let's go in and practice racing, and one of the things we pride ourselves on a lot is being the ones that are coming up the second half. And part of that is like, now I'm going to take a break, chill, and really think about building well into the summer. So.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, and congrats again.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you for all your coverage. Appreciate it.